I thought Deputy Barry was going
You have the floor.
Minister, to ask the Minister the numbers of those involved in BDGP and the BEEP scheme in 2020 and the number that are taking part in the BDG scheme and the BEEP scheme in 2021. Could he make a statement on the matter?
Thanks very much, Deputy Fitzmaurice. So in 2020, the number of farmers participating in the Beef Data Genomics Programme was 22,243, with a further 1,422 participating in BDGP2, giving a total of 23,665 farmers. Payments to farmers under BDGP for 2020 were approximately €41.5 million. A total of 27,000 farmers were participating in BEEP-S in 2020. Payments under the scheme amounted to approximately €41 million. Those farmers in BDGP1 who had met all the scheme requirements could opt to join the transitional scheme in 2021. The number of farmers participating in the BDGP transitional scheme is 17,683. This represents a rollover rate of 79.5%. A further 1,421 farmers are still in BDGP2, giving a total of 19,000 now in BDGP. In addition, there are a total of 27,516 farmers participating in the 2021 BEEP-S scheme. Overall, for 2021, we have 16,155 farmers in both schemes. To say it another way, 86% or 84% of BDGP participants are also in BEEP, and 58% of BEEP-S participants in 2021 are in BDGP. Payments for 2021 under the BDGP and BEEP-S are scheduled to issue in December. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Is it worrying that 23–24% of farmers haven't gone for the rollover? Has your department done an analysis of what the reasons are? Was it because of some farmers' non-compliance? Was it because of inspections? Was it because of basically farmers were not interested? Or what is the reason? Because at a time that you'd think that there'd be more farmers getting involved, and I know that you couldn't go for any more than what was there, that we see 20% or 25% of a drop-off. You're talking about 17,683, as again 23,000, I think, off the figures I just took down there from you, 365, which is a large proportion of farmers are, and in the analysis, have you looked at what have they done, where are they gone, are they gone at a different enterprise, or what has happened? Because it's a worrying trend when you look at those figures.
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Fitzmaurice. So I suppose that there's a reality here that prior to this particular year, farmers participating in BDGP were in a 5-year programme where they had to sign up for 5 years, and there wasn't the option year on year to decide whether you stay in it or whether you come out of it. So it was a full 5-year programme. Whenever I continued it then for 2021, it was continued for 1 year, and the option was available to farmers whether they decided to take up that year or not. And certainly in terms of the practicality of it, I made it as straightforward as possible, because I wanted to give every opportunity for farmers to be able to avail and continue to be in BDGP and indeed BEEP-S for this year. Obviously, couldn't run new schemes because we're in a transition period. New schemes can only start from the start of 2023. But I wanted to do everything I possibly could to ensure those that were in schemes were able to stay in them. So I think the main reason I would say, Deputy, is the fact that it was coming out of a 5-year commitment, and therefore some, for a variety of reasons, would have decided that after the 5 years they were drawing a line and not necessarily taking up the other 1 year.
Thank you, Minister.
Yeah, Minister, would it be the case that the farmers that looked at this, that were tied into the 5 years, because obviously there was the only way you were going to get out was force majeure, to be quite frank about it, it was an awful lot easier going to a 1-year scheme if it was attractive because you weren't tied in for a longer period of time. Would it be a case that some of those farmers are feeling, basically a quarter of them nearly, are feeling that it was too cumbersome, or that there was something wrong with the scheme, that I think that it's very important that we do an analysis of what's going on, because if you lose 25% or 24%, whatever the percentage of farmers out of a scheme, it's sending a signal or a message that there is something wrong one way or the other. And I think that the department needs to look at those schemes to see how it can basically streamline and make them easier for the farmer, because that is a worrying figure in my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, Deputy, a big part of the reason was the things can change over the course of 5 years for farmers as well. And we had a 5-year contract which finished, and then people had the option of doing a 1-year contract. And as I say, the administration and red tape as such around extending that year was absolutely minimised. They could continue as they were. It wasn't open to new entrants now, so you had to be in the previous 5-year BDGP. So because we couldn't run a new scheme, we couldn't start it off, so we could continue if you were there. So while the option was open to people not to continue, there wasn't the option open for new people to come in. And I've no doubt if you had the option for new people to come in, as you say, for 1 year, that there might have been a different kettle of fish. As you know, I've been travelling every county to march right across the country to get feedback on all of these issues. The biggest feedback I've had is that the farmers want to see it continued, they want to see it strengthened, and I think certainly in relation to the CAP programme I announced yesterday, where compared to BDGP, which was €90 in the first 10 and €80 in the remainder, we'll now have €150 in the first 10 and 120 in the remainder. So I think we're certainly strengthening the funding and the allocation that will be there, and I hope that that will see a strong take-up in relation to the carbon beef suckler efficiency scheme from 2023 onwards. And of course, I'm continuing the BDGP again for 2022 as of the budget last week.